Cheerful Wakes here, and I'm reporting. This is on Black Men Do Owe More to Black Women's Causes, July 24th, 2014, by Michael Arsenault. This is brought to me by TV1 News, News 1 for Black America. So, I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to give my opinion on it. This is a picture of Eric Garner, who was chokehold, strangled, and killed by the NYPD last Thursday, July 17th. Regardless of how one feels about the stance for Harriet founder Kimberly Foster, picture below, takes in her essay, Why I Will Not March for Eric Garner. It's more than evident it comes from a place of frustration. And to be fair to her and those who share her point of view, when it comes to black men championing issues important to black women, the way black women rally behind those championed by black men, there is a huge discrepancy. So while I don't agree with Kimberly Foster's response to that dilemma, I nonetheless can understand why she would reach such a conclusion. She is right when she notes, while the effectiveness of social media is spreading Gardner's story hurts me, I cannot refrain from comparing the empathy shown him, particularly by black men, to that which is heartbreakingly absent when black women attempt to discuss the everyday terrors we experience both in the world and at their hands. Likewise, she is equally correct in asserting too many fail to recognize the violence, psychological, verbal, and physical, that we direct toward each other in communal spaces reflects the violence enacted upon our bodies and minds by larger dominating structures. Thus, there is an inability by many black men to acknowledge that black women too have a right to move through the world without fear, that a woman should not have to avert her eyes and quicken her pace when she encounters men in public places. Some have objected to the comparison between street harassment and Eric Garner dying at the hands of an NYPD officer. Yet, false equivalents or not, far too often do black men brush aside black women's concerns about merely wanting to walk down the street in peace, independent of men's antagonistic behavior, mostly fueled by the presumption that a woman's body is fair game to ostracize, such as a sexist stance articulated every single day on social media, heard in any barbershop, and experienced real time on the street any given day of the week. You think Ms. Foster is hyperbolic in her comparison? Okay. Removing that from the equation, is she no less accurate that many black men simply don't check their brothers the way we're all collectively supposed to check white people when a black man is harmed by one of their own? Again, I don't agree with Foster's solution. Frankly, I wish she hadn't used Gardner's death to make this argument, given she already did so beautifully back in 2012. But what's done is done, and though everyone has their opinion about her remarks, it is an opportunity for dialogue, but dialogue. I don't mind the sort of homonym, tit for tat, that often plagues the comment section on every website. Dialogue as in listening, trying to understand where a person's viewpoint stems from, even if you find it problematic. When someone speaks of hurt to the point that they have to completely pull away, ideally it's ought to be a rally cry. As in, how did Kimberly Foster get to this point? How does one bring the Kimberly Fosters of the world back into the fold? The answer is simply, as she already outlined, reciprocity. There are many black men who have lent their voices to cause specifically affecting black women, self included, but as collectively we have much work to do. We ought to rally behind Renisha McBride as much as we do Trayvon Martin. Her name should be as common as Martin, but it is not, and it doesn't require much thought to figure out why. Moreover, what has been done and what continues to be done to Marissa Alexander warrants widespread outrage. Black men's actions may have caused Kimberly Foster to limit her support, but a change in behavior prevents that from happening again, and it may even win her back. We all have to do better by each other. No matter how that sentiment is articulated, it will still ring true. So, Truthful Wakes here. I'm going to give my opinion on this. Shout out to Eric Writer Block on Facebook for sharing this article with me. Shout out to him. I'm just going to give my 2 cents on it. I think the way she went about addressing how black men don't support black women and don't, fight for our rights as much as we fight for black men's rights, and then using the death of Eric Gardner, it was disrespectful. It was distasteful. Okay? I don't agree with how she went about addressing it. Because for me personally, as a black woman, a black feminist, a social justice advocate for everybody, because I want equality and freedom and social justice for every single person, I'm not going to sit up here and say I'm not going to fight for Eric Gardner and the justice that his family deserves. Because I look at it from a sense that, despite the fact that there are black men who really don't care about black women and black women's rights and causes and issues, and don't really do anything to rally and support us as much as I feel that we do to them, I'm still going to be a sister. I'm still going to be a social justice advocate. I'm still going to fight for my brothers and my sisters and black men, regardless if they don't view my issues as serious. It just makes me the better person in the long run. However, what she stated is absolutely true. Speaking from a black woman's perspective, a lot of times when issues happen in the black community and it's focused or dealing with black women, it is pushed underneath the rug. It is easily forgotten. Renisha McBride was shot and killed while knocking on the door to ask for help after she was in a car accident, November 2nd, 2013, in Dearborn Heights, Michigan, which is a suburb of Detroit, Michigan, which is about an hour and a half away from where I live. So, and she was only 19 years old, and she was shot in the face with a shotgun. She died instantly for knocking on the door for help. And nobody even brought her situation up. No one even talks about it. Just to let you know, the trial is going on now. And it saddens me because it just goes to show you what Kimberly Foster stated is true. No one cares when it's a black woman. No one cares. No one stands up for us. Nobody fights for us. And I feel her frustration in that sense. Okay? Let's not forget Rekia Boyd, 2012, was walking on the sidewalk minding her own business and was shot in the head by an off-duty police officer because he thought a black guy was pulling out a gun when all he was doing was pulling out a phone. But she was shot in the head and died. No one did anything for her. Okay? No one rallied, no one protested. Of course, her family and friends rallied and protested, but where were the massive protests by black men and women? And even black women do not care about black women issues. So it just goes to show you how sexism really plays a role in a lot of things. Okay? Because even black women don't care about other black women. So it's sad. I get where Kimberly Foster is coming from, but however, for me personally, I feel that the way she went about it was distasteful and disrespectful. Right? We have a father of 6 who was chokehold and murdered by the NYPD. We do need to stand behind him and his family and fight for justice for him. Okay? However, to all the black men and black women and other people of color and, everyone out there who's watching this video, black women lives matter too. My life matters just as much as Eric Gardner's, just as much as Trayvon Martin's. But let me tell you this, Renisha McBride's life mattered. The 200 plus girls who are missing right now in Nigeria matter. Rekia Boyd mattered. Okay? Everyone's life has value. Everyone should be treated with humanity. We all matter. It shouldn't matter if he's black or she's a man or she's a woman, etc. Everyone's life matters. So that's just my 2 cents. Let me know what you guys think in the comment box below. I want justice for Renisha McBride, Rekia Boyd, Trayvon Martin, Jordan Davis, Eric Gardner. I want justice for everybody who was done wrong.